first round of the playoffs is always stressful for everybody. They're battles. It's exciting, but there's always battles, and they're tight games, and typically again, there's always many. To me, there's always many games in one, and you just kind of have to keep an even keel. Both teams just have to keep an even keel, because now we're at the point where it's win or go home.
I think kind of before and after each series you had in Ferris State this year, there was a common theme that they are a team that's better than their record and better than maybe their pairwise ranking or whatever it might be. What is it specifically that makes them a tough team to play against?
Well, they're well coached. They're strong. They play good defense. They got a good hockey team. They got a good hockey team. Guys, there's just there's a fine line between everybody in college hockey. So I don't look at anything. I don't look at what place they're in, what pairwise. I think if you start looking at that kind of stuff, your mind will start playing tricks on you. All I can tell you is that we're 2-1-1 against them this year. They beat us in Ferris State. We went to an overtime game right here. They've all been tight games, really tight games. Game we won here, it was 2-1 with about 5 minutes to go. They beat us in the playoffs here in Bemidji. It was a while ago. So it doesn't matter. Again, guys, any matchups in college hockey, every game is going to be they're always nail biters, and that's what the fans expect. That's what the coaches expect. That's what the players expect.
The line of Chiddington, McLean, and Lawson has been just on a tear their last 4 or 5 games. From your perspective, what are the things that they're doing right to be able to sustain momentum weekend to weekend?
They're playing honest. They're playing hard, and they're playing honest. And if you play hard and you play honest, you'll get rewarded. And they're not only getting rewarded with playing time, they're getting rewarded on the score sheet as well. So they've been a big shot in the arm for us. They've been a big boost for us, that's for sure. And I'm really happy with their play. I'm confident in their play, and they're backing it up.
Talk a little bit more about Dante Lawson specifically. I'm doing a piece on him, and he had a little injury to start the year, and now he's coming back and he's surging at the right time. What kind of a player is he, and what does he bring to this team?
Well, Dante right now is playing with a lot of confidence. He's playing with a lot of confidence. Dante's a really smart hockey player, and his best hockey is in the offensive zone. His in zone play, he can make quick decisions, and he can make quick plays. So, and all that line. Everybody brings something a little differently too, which is good. They got, and that's what you call chemistry. So they have good chemistry right now.
And another player, how important has it been for Eric Martin to be healthy this year and to be a consistent forward that, for a team that has had to deal with some inconsistencies and injuries?
Well, I think Marty's really emerging. I think his game has really matured over the course of the last year and a half. His game has really matured, and I think it's taken another step this year. And the first half of the year wasn't easy for Marty. It wasn't. But the last, again, I think like a lot of our guys, the second half of this year, it's pretty slow for Marty. To me, he's playing a lot faster, and when he plays fast, he's really effective because he's got great legs. And times when he wants to slow the game down, that's where he's probably gotten in trouble in the past. But he's really playing at a high pace right now, and he can think at a high pace. And when he does that, he's a big threat.
Talk about his toughness to be able to come back from an injury like that last year and to get to this point where he is such an important piece of it.
Well, it was a tough injury last year. You're spot on, and he's overcame that injury, and I think that actually set him back a little bit earlier this year too. Missing a while last year. I think he missed I think that happened in the middle of January, maybe the third week of January, his injury. So, he missed almost 2 months last year, and coming back from that injury, that was a tough injury. It wasn't an easy injury, and I think it took him a while. But since now he's comfortable, now he's confident, and again, like I mentioned earlier, he's really elevated his play.
And last one on him, he talked about how there were times where he did have doubts about his ability to recover from such a unique injury like that. And when stuff like that happens, do you guys as coaches ever start to maybe doubt, the recovery process in that?
Not really. I'll be honest with you, Jared. I don't overthink some of those things. That's probably more on the training staff. We have so many other things that we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. So I've been in it long enough where I know it just takes time sometimes. And a lot of times with a hockey player, it's when they're comfortable and they're confident, and when they quit thinking about things and it's hard. I mean, you get injured, you think about it. I mean, it's just the way it is. It's natural. So I think it just takes a while, and once you've overcome that, I just think again your game can take off. You bet.
Coach, all year long you talked about how it's a marathon and now it's a sprint, and you guys have had the momentum the last 4 weekends, and now you're heading into this one. How do you keep that momentum going into the sprint?
I just think what you have to do is you still have to play what's been the success, what's been the recipe over the course of the last 5 weeks or so. And I think when you look at that and you reflect back on that, can you maintain that type of intensity? Can you maintain that kind of play? We talk about it, but again, you have to do it on the ice too. And there's so many things that can happen on the ice too within a game that can change your mindset and your mentality. So I just think again, you got to stick with it. You just got to stick with what's going on in your game, and how it's being productive for you and how it's being productive for the team. And I think the biggest thing is I'm gonna get cliche-ish again, but again, it's how hard you work and how smart you work. And when you play with a high battle level, with a high compete, if you're playing at a high speed, and that's what we want our guys to do, and we want to have an attack mentality, I think you're eliminating thinking. And when you eliminate thinking, you're just playing. And I just think that's been a big part of our success over the course of the last 5 weeks. And it's not only from an offensive standpoint, it's a defensive standpoint as well. And then there's always things that, there's always, again, the games within the games. And those are things that we discuss and talk about in the locker room that, we probably don't need to discuss here in an interview. But there's just some things that go on. And if they're, and there's been great buy-in from our guys. And if they're doing those types of things, you typically get rewarded. And I think that's been the case over during this little stretch right here, that's been the case.
One of the things, too, during that stretch is top to bottom line, first and fourth, you guys had production out of what. How nice is that feel to have that as you head into the playoffs?
Well, it's huge because what you're doing is, you're not overplaying people. And if you can spread the wealth, it just helps you wholeheartedly, especially first round of the playoffs where you take a look, there's a good chance games go 3 games. And you have to prepare for that too. You have to prepare during the week right now. We have to prepare for that. We have to make sure, again, our practices, you have to think ahead a little bit. And your mindset as a coach, that has to play into it. So if we can roll 4, if we're getting production, when I say production, it's not offensive production, just production. And what production is just winning shifts. And if we're winning shifts and back-to-back shifts, and we're getting a lot of offensive zone faceoffs, that just puts you in a lot better place.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we worked for all year. I mean, you just said it. Everyone's 0-0 now, so everyone's got hope. Everyone's got life. I mean, everyone's got a chance. And, I mean, I think just the momentum we've been building throughout the last month and a half, I mean, like the vibes around the rink are great. I mean, practice, we're all working hard. I mean, it's just positive energy everywhere. And I think we're going to try to keep riding this and, keep staying positive and looking ahead.
What was the turning point for this team this year? Obviously, the first half, there was injuries, there were some ups and downs, some big swings. Second half has been really consistent. So was there a turning point?
Yeah, I think when we went to Michigan Tech at the start of January, I want to say, and I think, we had a lot of injuries at that time, and we were really banged up, and I think that was probably like the weekend where we put together 2 full games, and that's kind of where it turned. We said, if we play like that every game, I mean, there's no one I think that can compete with us. I mean, we got 4 lines, we got 3 D-man, we got goalies, like we got the whole meal deal.
I think Fair State is a team that's probably a little bit better than their record says, and they're a scrappy team. They have good goaltending. From your perspective, what makes them a team that's dangerous even as a lower seed?
Yeah, I mean, I think all 8 teams in our conference can beat anyone on any given day. So, I mean, you can't take anyone lightly. And they got some skilled forwards. I mean, they got a lot of talent up front and guys who are able to put the puck in the net and score. And, they're a rush offense team. I feel like they get a lot of chances like that, just flipping pucks out, maybe getting odd man rushes and stuff like that. So,
yeah, it's very important. They, like coach has been telling us, it's everyone's 0-0 now. You just like when you start the season, just like when you come back from the first half, you go into the second half, you want to get off on the right foot, and just like every other series, you want to start off strong and try to get that momentum in the series right away. So our focus is on Friday night right now, and right from puck drop, we want to get going.
I asked Coach the same question, and you guys have been on a hot streak heading into this. And that was the marathon. Now you're in the sprint. How do you keep that momentum going into this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, just taking what we've done the last couple months and trying to correlate it to this weekend. We feel really good. We feel confident, but it's been a lot of hard work, and we just got to keep doing the same things.
What are some of the same things that you can keep doing?
Showing up every day consistently, showing up with a good attitude, working hard. It starts Monday when we get here for the week, and all the way through Thursday and then into Friday, obviously, playing the right way. Getting pucks deep, going to work, playing an unselfish game as a team, playing for each other, doing really well with sacrifice stats. And we've been doing that recently, so we just got to keep it going.